Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping back by to catch up with the walkers.
Yeah, we're glad to have you guys, and we hope you're having a good morning. I just yawned and my eyes are watering.
Uh-oh. So we want to take this morning, the very first Saturday in May, the very first day in May, to recognize Foster Care Awareness Month. So every May, we take the time here in the Cherokee Nation, here on the reservation. I think the entire country, though, recognizes May as Foster Care Awareness Month. And so we had planned on doing this video last week, as Cassie mentioned it. She was like, I think it's time to do a video over foster care. And I was like, yeah, but May is Foster Care Awareness, so let's just put it off till then. Little did we know that 3 days ago, we would get a call and we would go from Walker Party of 5 to Walker Party of 7.
Yeah.
Overnight.
So probably all of you, most of you follow us on Walker Farm Fam, and most of you probably know that we have 2 adopted children and 1 biological son, and we do foster care. So like Gary said, we got a call a few days ago, and less than 24 hours,
Yeah.
we expanded our family for the time being. So we've been wanting to do this video, so what is better time than now to talk about foster care awareness, especially when it affects our family.
Yeah, and it was one of those calls that we both felt really good about it. We felt like it would be a good match for our family with the ages, and we couldn't say no. And so luckily Cassie has a minivan already, and we have the extra seats, and we also added bunk beds to our kids' room over our Christmas break this year.
Yep.
So we had the extra bed space as well.
The kids the other day on the way to school, Ranger from the back said, "Mama, what would we do if we didn't have a van?" I said, "Well, some of y'all would have to be walking."
We would go van shopping. That would not be good, but we would go van shopping.
Yeah, so we just wanted to share a little bit about our foster journey and what foster care means to us. But with that, adoption as well. Not everyone's called to foster. Not everyone's called to adopt. Not everyone's called to do either. Why did we start this journey? Why did we feel led? And what has the last 8 years looked like?
So just a quick recap of where we started. So after Ranger was born, this was back in 2013, and he was almost 2 years old.
Oh, yeah. It's like he was born in 2011. Sorry.
Yeah.
But in 2013.
Yeah, in 2013, Ranger was 2 years old, and we started thinking about having more children. And so we had the conversation of would we want to foster and eventually adopt, and I'm sure we had a lot of conversations in between that, but fast forward, we made the decision to do that. So we started by calling our tribe, Cherokee Nation. I'm a tribal member of the tribe here in Oklahoma, and we got acquainted with their foster care program, and we thought it would be a great fit because we live here on the Cherokee Nation reservation.
Yeah, so after contacting them, we contacted them in October. They came out and did an initial visit, went over a little bit of paperwork because there's a whole lot of paperwork, but to not overwhelm you, they just give you a little bit at a time. Walked through our house just to look it over and see if there's some things we needed to fix or security things, and answered any questions we had, looked over some of our background checks and things, made sure all that was in line. And then in January, we went and took a 2-day class to get certified, to go over rules and regulations and how things work, and just lots of information. And there was different steps, fingerprints, background checks, different things we had to do. And by May, were fully certified. So after getting fully certified in May, I'll never forget, before they left our house, they said, "It'll probably be a while before you hear from us. There's different things that have to happen. You guys can still have children, so usually babies go to people who necessarily can't," which we 100% understood. But at that time, with Ranger being 2, we wanted a newborn or a baby is what we felt would be good with keeping him the oldest. And we were doing foster adopt then. So fostering children who they figured by the case would be able to be adopted. Fast forward 2 months, wasn't that long at all.
No, it wasn't that long. And we got a call that said there was a little girl waiting at the hospital and she needed somebody to take her home. And she had been there for 17 days and she had been in NICU. So she was ready to go home though. So she had done her time there. She was stable and ready to go. And that little girl was Mazzie. So Mazzie Walker came home with us. And
they called at 4:45 in the evening. And I said, well, I'm going to have to talk to my husband. When do I need to let you know? And they said, by 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like if we would for sure say yes, but just if we were interested. And we asked if we could come meet her, feed her, get to know her, spend some time with her. And so that's what we did.
Yeah. So that foster care journey began, and it took 2 years. So there was a lot of in between that we're not even going to go all into.
Roller coaster.
A lot of emotional ups and downs, a lot of firsts for us, and a lot of
emotions.
A lot of emotions. So that actually came to a close whenever we were able to adopt Mazzie.
2 years to the date of when we met her or brought her home.
Yeah. And so fast forward again for how long?
We didn't get any, well, actually, the day that we adopted Mazzie, we got a phone call. There was 3 or 4 boys, but the situation, having 2 small kids, we were living in a small farmhouse then, 3 or 4 kids, I can't remember, that would be 5 or 7 kids in a very small house, and like we weren't ready for it, and they totally understood, so we had to say no to that one. And then fast forward,
Timeline's not that important.
Yeah.
Year 2.
Yeah, you lose track of time. But fast forward again, and we got another phone call of a little boy who was at the hospital, 7 days old this time, and needing a place to go.
So that is when we went and met Ransom for the first time. And we fell in love instantly, which everybody says you can't do that. Well, here's the thing. You have to do that. So as being a foster parent, you have to be able to love them like they're your own as much as you can, knowing that they may not be your own forever. And so that's the toughest part, or one of the toughest things is...
Something we hear a lot is, I would love to do that, but my heart is just too big and I love too hard. I wouldn't be able to let them go. And I see where they're coming from. But in my perspective, that's just a bad excuse. Because if your heart is so big and you love so hard, then you should want to go love on these babies. But not everyone's called to do that. So if you're not called to do that, that doesn't make sense to you. We 100% know that this is what we were called to do. Like I said, we haven't got many phone calls. And so when we do get a phone call, we take it very serious. We have other friends who foster who get phone calls all the time. So we feel like God called us to do this for some specific reasons. And we're figuring those out along the way. So for us, it's not... it is hard when we've had some have to leave us before, and it is hard, but we know that we 100% did our best, and we gave them a loving home, and we took care of them for that period of time better than what we think anyone else could do. So
we'll try our best. At least.
Yeah. So yes, it's hard, but when you know that God has called you to do it, it sure makes it a little easier.
Yeah, at least you have the feelings that you know what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. And so while it's difficult, while it is tiresome, and while it can drain you, it is also very fulfilling at the same time, because you know it's what you were supposed to be doing. And that gives you what you need to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
So fast forward through that that timeline, and we were able to adopt Ransom as well.
16 months later, we were able to adopt Ransom. And
so just another joyous occasion. And anytime that we were able to adopt, that also, it's a happy time for us. It's also a sad time, because that means there was a separation there from biological family. But at the same time, everything was done that could be done, and we know that.
Cherokee Nation is who we go through, and we know they give 1,000,001 chances, and so we know sometimes that's frustrating because we're like, why is this taking so long? Why do they get so many chances? They just messed up again. Why? And as they explain to us, and it makes a lot of sense, that when they take a child from someone, when they terminate their rights, when it's over, they want to be able to say that they did absolutely everything. They gave them all the chances. They tried, they did everything for them. They gave them all the resources. Like, we've done all we can. So we 100% understand that when the kids are old enough to understand. And at age appropriate times, we've started talking more about it. We never want it to be like a, and what? So we talk about adoption and different things, but age appropriately. And one day when we are able to share the whole big picture, if they want us to, we can say they had absolutely every chance, and it didn't work out. So
yeah, and right now they're learning a lot about foster care and adoption through the process of seeing other foster children come into our home. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's an understanding that will take many years to achieve. But I feel like with them living in our house today and experiencing what we experienced over the last 3 days, then they're going to come to understand that a lot better. So we hope that we're able to continue just to show them through our foster home and taking more placements throughout the years exactly what foster care means for us and what it means for them, because them as part of our family, it's not just us, it's them. And I couldn't be more proud, just to throw this in there, of Ranger and Mazzy and Ransom. These last few days, they have just blown me away. Rangers, especially, he's a great big brother, and he's really showing it in these last few days.
I can't say anything about that or I'll cry.
Okay, so we'll move on. So that was Ransom, and then a couple years ago we also had another placement. We won't talk about a lot of details on that one.
Yeah, unless we adopt, we can't talk about details and specifics because we were able to adopt Mazzy and Ransom. We can talk a little bit more about that kind of stuff, but those who we haven't and their cases weren't closed that way, then confidentiality, things like that, we can't really talk about it.
But just in general terms, we had a newborn baby we took home and had him for 3 months. And a lot of times we don't know why, but God called us to be there for those 3 months and do everything we could. And then he went on. And that was just part of foster care that we learned lessons on, and we grew through that.
When he came home with us, he weighed 3.5 pounds. I was freaked out and scared. And a 3.5 pound baby, like, he was tiny. When he left, he was right at 10, right?
Yeah.
Doing awesome, healthy. We worked out some health issues that we found out by just paying close attention and things. So we feel we did absolutely everything we could during those 3 months.
Yeah. And so that was the last foster care interaction we had until these last few days. And so these last few days have been great.
First time that we've had older kids who can talk, who can express their feelings, or
who
tell
we
us
don't
what
have
they
to
need.
change diapers.
We don't have to change diapers, but when you get a newborn baby, they have no idea what's going on, and you're just goo goo gaga, and they just act like a baby. So we didn't really know what to expect. Gary was getting the kids when they brought them here, and so the band pulled up, the Cherokee Nation band, and I was like, okay, I gotta say the most powerful thing when that door opens. What can I say to calm their fears and help them to feel safe? I opened the door and I said, hey guys, before I could say anything else. They jumped out, ran to the trampoline, started playing with toys. Where's your kids? And never skipped a beat. And I looked up the worker and I said, well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they've just jumped right in and embraced our family wholeheartedly. Obviously, you have to work through some transitional things when you have any human being that's been living in a different house, a different setting, a different situation. You bring them to a new one, whether it's an adult or kid, they're going to have to adapt. Every house has its own
We assume
little
our
perks.
routines are what everyone does, but it's not.
No, and so they're coming right along, and these last few days we've been busy, and they're starting to sleep really good at night. So we're going to keep them busy and let them run and play as much as they can here on the farm, and let them get all their energy out, so they'll sleep good, and so they'll eat a good breakfast and learn good at school.
The oldest one, he is picking up on my crazy chicken lady problem. He's like,
That didn't take long.
the ducks were hatching, which we'll talk about this in a second for the catching up part, but the ducks were hatching as they got here, and I think they were like so confused why I had ducks in a little box, is what they kept calling it, my incubator. But then they realized they were hatching out of eggs because they went back in and there were more.
What's that lady doing with those little box of ducks?
She
It's the
had birds in a
craziest
little
thing.
box in the pantry. And so
Can you imagine?
they're out in the brooder now. And I had it cleaned out for a day and a half. I was cleaning it and stuff.
Before
and
you put more eggs in?
Well, he went in a while ago to get something to eat, and he came running out. He goes, "Everybody come in here and look. She put more eggs in this box." And Gary's parents were here, and they were like, I said, "It's my incubators." They started laughing. So, yep.
Was that a wake-up call? An intervention?
No.
Okay. Well, so you can tell we're having a lot of fun. We're tired.
I'm so tired. I'm like crying because anytime I talk about Foster, I have tears in my eyes because it's near and dear to my heart, and I'm a ball bag. But I'm also trying to hold in my yawns, and so my eyes are just like running. But
you're doing a good job.
if I look like I haven't slept in a week, it's because I have, but it's been long. They have been excellent, but our kids go to bed like 8:30. They like to stay up till 11 or midnight, and I used to be a night owl, but I can't hang no more.
Tonight they're in bed before 10 though.
We wore them out.
We improved. So we wanted to share our story because we want to encourage others. If there's anybody out there that is just even thinking about fostering, we want to let you see that there is a lot of good. There's also some down times. There's also some sad times. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of joy. But at the end of the day, we feel like God has called us, and it's very clear in His Word, to take care of orphans and to take care of widows. And so this, I feel like, is a calling that He has for us, and we really, while it's challenging, feel like we're doing what we're supposed to do when we do that.
So as we always say, not everyone is called to foster. Not everyone is called to adopt, and we 100% realize that. But sometimes when people hear our story, or they're like, those kids are adopted, it helps them kind of see that not all fostering, like you see on TV, is negative. Not all kids are horrible. There are situations, bad things do happen, but for the most part, it's an amazing thing. And so we want to share our positive side, so that hopefully if there's someone who God is calling, or they've had a tug on their heart, or they just, have been like, man, is this for me? And then they hear it and be like, okay, I know I need to check into it. You at least need to go check into it. You at least need to have that initial visit of answering questions, and then keep going with it, or say, hey, this isn't for me. But if you're not called to foster, what can you do? Not everyone's called to foster, but everyone is called to do something, to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Over the last 3 days, people have delivered supper to us. They've brought us clothes. One of them had a birthday the next day after.
We learned that very soon, the very next day is a birthday party, and we
had less than 12 hours because we were going to bed and then waking up. And people brought...
we had pancakes.
Yes, we had pancakes and candles because that's what we had.
And so we had that for the home, and we had some little presents here. But then other people stepped up. Yeah,
so people brought presents. They have been going to school with us, and the teachers said, "Hey, we got this. We'll take care of this. You guys don't have time to run to the store." They got cupcakes. They got birthday presents. They got unicorn plates and napkins and all the things, and it was amazing. So you might not be called to foster, but you can help and be the hands and feet. Provide a meal. send some gift cards to be able to eat out. Bring that birthday present if that's something that's needed. You have clothes in your kids' closet that they've outgrown. Hey, what are their sizes? I think I got some stuff that you can use. But mostly prayer. So there is something that everyone can do. And another week or so, maybe we'll need someone to watch the kids for 3 or 4 hours so that we can go do something. Those are just different things that people can do to help out and be aid. I don't know. I can't think of the word to foster families.
Yeah, so we could have clearly made it on our own if we needed to, but people helping us with like just those simple things like a meal, that allowed us to focus more time with them and less time worrying about, all right, what are we going to do for supper? Are we cooking this? Are we getting that? Running to the store?
It also allows the person that brought the meal to be a blessing to someone.
So we really do appreciate them. I think I said it on our last video over at Walker Farm Fam, but we thank you guys so much. You know who you are for helping us. They
probably don't watch our videos.
In that time. If they do, they might 5 years from now when they have more free time. You never know.
It's kind of crazy, the people that do watch our videos, they'll run into us and they're like, I've been watching your videos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's kind of embarrassing. It's just kind of weird.
Why? Did you burp on camera or something?
No, it's just kind of like, I feel like people watch them and think, what are they doing?
So that's our summary of foster care.
I need more sleep.
And we're going to end it with planning and praying. So catching up just what's been going on the channel. You saw Ransom and I get our garden started. We're going to continue with that in the next week. We want to get some more stuff out. We need to get the pumpkins started.
Don't tell Grojack that we haven't got them started yet.
We should get those started in the next...
Time has got away from us.
This coming week. We're going to put some squash and peppers out. So that's kind of some stuff that's coming up. The goat shelter. If you guys saw that video at Walker Farm Fam, then you know that we have our shelter installed now. We just need to finish putting some panels on the inside and get that squared away.
Yes. And we haven't showed them the runner duck. That would be the next Walker Farm Fam video.
Yes. So
on Sunday's Walker Farm Fam video, you will see the runner ducks.
So stay tuned tomorrow at Walker Farm Fam.
They are awesome. I think Gary can pester me all about hatching eggs as he wants, but the chicken eggs, I maybe went a little overboard, but I think I have his permission to hatch all the duck eggs I want.
Hey, my cousin said they sold themselves for $40 a pop at the poultry auction.
Runner ducks?
That's what she said. So
I'm going to go to the neighbors and get more eggs.
So we'll see. No, I think they're kind of fun ducks. I really want Cassie to see how big of a mess ducks are because I remember them from way back.
These are supposed to be less messy.
Well, we'll just see. So as far as praying goes, thank you for the prayers for our family with the transition of our foster children. We appreciate those, and we ask you to keep praying if you would.
I think the focus for today's video on prayer needs to be just throughout this month, as it's Foster Care Awareness Month. Be looking around, finding ways that you can help, find ways you can encourage someone, but mostly be praying for foster families and be praying for those children who are in placement through foster care, because can you imagine your whole world being turned upside down in a matter of a split second? Like, I just can't imagine. Just
moving in with complete strangers, being the whole process.
This lady and man keep telling me I gotta brush my teeth.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of drawbacks there, but in the end, hopefully, it gives the families of those children time to get their lives straightened up and get ready for their children to come home, and that's how our foster journey, we never know how it's going to end. Our kids can go back to their home or they could be here for a very long time.
So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you've heard something you haven't thought about, or maybe God's laid something on your heart that you can go and do to be a blessing. So we thank you guys so much for watching. We truly appreciate the support we're having right here on Catching Up with the Walkers. And if you don't, make sure you go over to Walker Farm Fam, our main channel, and check it out. You'll see lots of videos of the kids, and I'm pretty sure Ransom is the star of the show now.
Why not?
So they say.
He's a mess.
So you guys have a great, great day and a very blessed weekend, and we'll see you next time. As always, God bless.